Pregame.com.
This is Brad Powers in Pregame.com studios, just off the Vegas Strip. We're counting down my top 25 power-rated teams entering the 2017 college football season. This particular video, we're going over my number 14 rated team. It's the Stanford Cardinal, a team that won 10 games a year ago. And this year's team is very experienced, 16 returning starters, 8 on offense, 8 on defense. But the main reason why I think the Stanford team is a little bit undervalued this year in the betting markets is I think the loss of their top 2 players, 2 guys that went in the top 10 of the NFL draft, is getting a little overhyped. Yes, they lost running back Christian McCaffrey. Yes, they lost a great defensive player and defensive end Solomon Thomas, but I don't think those losses are as big as what's getting valued and placed upon in the market. You look at McCaffrey last year, was banged up half of the season. Stanford won on the road at Notre Dame with McCaffrey not playing. Heck, Stanford won their bowl game without McCaffrey playing, and I love their replacement. If you want to be smart sitting around the water cooler this summer talking college football, here's a name to throw out to your buddies. Bryce Love, the running back, had nearly 800 yards rushing last year, filling in for Christian McCaffrey, and I think he could be possibly a 1,500-yard rusher this year. Love the replacement there. The second reason I am buying Stanford this year is it's a tough schedule, but it's doable. You look at particularly their conference schedule in Pac-12 play, and you look at their division matchups against the 2 teams that I think are going to contend with them in the Pac-12 North, Oregon and Washington. Well, guys, Stanford gets both teams at home. And oh yeah, by the way, Stanford the last 9 years at home. How about 50-8 straight up? So a very tough place to play. And when you add it all up as far as their schedule, I actually have Stanford favored in 11 games this year. Now, on the contrary, one of my favorite picks is actually to fade Stanford on an individually game basis this year. You look at their matchup against Washington State. I am actually going to fade Stanford in that one. I'm going to take Washington State plus 5.5. I say the pure power rating number should have this line closer to 2. And then when you start looking at the situation, Stanford playing back-to-back on the road. They have a big home game against Washington on deck. And I think Washington State's going to be motivated. The fact that they beat Stanford on the road last year by 26 and they're catching nearly a touchdown, not a great spot for Stanford, even though I love the Cardinal this year. Take Washington State plus 5.5. We'll have more team previews and videos at pregame.com.